Hello everyone. Today I would like to talk about the topic blockchain for data security for my assignment 2 activity 1. So what is blockchain? Let's start with its introduction. A digital ledger in which transactions made in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency are recorded openly and sequentially. A blockchain is a growing list of records called blocks which are linked using cryptography. Each block then contains a cryptographic hash of the previous block, a timestamp, and a transaction data, which is generally represented as a Merkle tree root hash. What's its history? The first blockchain was conceptualized by a person known as Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008. Nakamoto improved the design in an important way using a hash cache-like method to add blocks to the chain without requiring them to be signed by a trusted party. The design was then implemented the following year by Nakamoto as a core component of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin, where it serves as the public ledger for all transactions on the network. So in August 2014, the Bitcoin blockchain file size, containing records of all transactions that had occurred on the network, reached 20 gigabytes respectively. In 2015, the size had grown to almost 30 gigabytes, and from January 2016 to 2017, the Bitcoin blockchain grew from 50 to 100 gigabytes in size respectively. The words block and chain were used separately in Satoshi Nakamoto's original paper, but were eventually popularized as a single word blockchain by 2016. The term blockchain 2.0 refers to new applications of the distributed blockchain database first emerging in 2014. So how does this blockchain technology work? Picture a spreadsheet that is duplicated thousands of times across a network of computers. Then imagine that this network is designed to regularly update the spreadsheet and you have a basic understanding of the blockchain. So the information held on a blockchain exists as a shared and continually reconciled database. This is a way of using the network that has obvious benefits. By allowing digital information to be distributed but not copied, blockchain technology created the backbone of a new type of internet. Originally devised from the digital currency Bitcoin, the tech community is now finding other potential uses for the technology. How blockchain can be used to secure sensitive data storage. Data security is no longer a luxury or an afterthought. With so much of our private, personal, and sensitive information being stored and transmitted online, tight security and privacy are now necessities for everyone. But just as more of our lives are going online, we are hearing about more data breaches and hacks than ever. Here we are going to take a look at how blockchain technology can improve on current centralized data security solutions and help keep us safe and in control. There are few ways that a blockchain can be used in a distributed storage software. One of the most common is to 1. Break up the data into chunks, 2. Encrypt the data so that you are the only one with access to it, and 3. Distribute files across a network in a way that means all your files are available even if part of the network is down. So essentially, instead of handing your files to a company like Amazon or Microsoft, you distribute it across a network of people all over the world. The cloud is then shared by the community and nobody can read or tamper with anyone else's sensitive data. In other words, you stay in control. This could also be useful in public services to keep public records safe, available, and decentralized. Another model is to just save a cryptographic signature of a document or file on a blockchain. This would give users a way to ensure a file is untampered without needing to save the entire file on the blockchain. When you look at a file, you can guarantee that it is the same version of the document that existed at another time. Now let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of blockchain technology for securing data. There are some awesome benefits to using cloud storage model, including peer-to-peer networks can make download speeds lightning fast, which is similar to torrenting. Your data is distributed all over the world, so it is highly available when you need it. You don't have to worry about anyone else having access to any of your data. Also, it can be extremely cheap, as low as $2 per TB per month. And if you have some extra space lying around, you could rent out your free space and actually earn money. Now, let's talk about the disadvantages. There aren't many blockchain storage products available yet because there are some challenges that need to be solved first. Security is limited by the size of the network. So, if a blockchain network isn't large or well distributed, it becomes vulnerable to attacks. More redundancy may be needed than other storage models if the network isn't big or reliable enough. Network communication overhead can be huge. This is a problem for engineers and will largely determine how viable this technology will be. A balance between usability, speed, and security needs to be found. Also, network bandwidth could be a problem as we can see this with Bitcoin. With maximum of 7 transactions per second, Bitcoin is getting slower and more expensive to use. So before discussing this diagram, I would like to talk about Gartner Hype Cycle. So what is it exactly? It is a research methodology that predicts how a technology evolves around time. Businesses use it to determine when an emerging technology will become commercially viable and sustainable over the long term. Understanding Bitcoin's place in the Gartner hype cycle is important for investors and businesses alike. The Gartner methodology provides a strategic tool that lets us peer into cryptocurrency's past and see what's coming next. Evidence indicates that Bitcoin has passed the dangerous two-phase bubble and is well into phase 4, the scope of enlightenment. You can actually see that in the diagram right here. So what is the slope of enlightenment? So you see, more instances of how the technology can benefit the enterprise start to crystallize and become more widely understood. Second and third generation products appear from technology providers. More enterprises fund pilots, conservative companies remain cautious. So I would like to conclude by saying that blockchain technology is expected to disrupt many different industries. The secure data storage market is currently dominated by huge third-party providers, and now it is one of the key targets for blockchain developers. Soon, everyone could all have access to cheap, secure ways of handling even more sensitive data without needing to trust in any third parties. While this is all exciting, it's crucial to remember the potential problems and limitations of blockchain. The size of the network is vital because if your data isn't well distributed, then it is vulnerable to attack. Because of the way it works, you need to consider network bandwidth demands and potentially huge size of your network communication overhead. So it's still a relatively new technology, so we don't have all the answers yet, but blockchain clearly has the potential to have a big impact on the data security world. The potential use cases for security are definitely worth looking into, even if blockchain isn't always the answer. And last but not the least, nothing is truly impossible to hack, but blockchain looks like a technology that has come closest to Holy Grail status so far. Thank you for your time.